The F1 season hasn't started yet, but discussions over rule changes have already started. The FIA has altered regulations that will influence the championship, especially surrounding flexing wings. Technical Directive 18 forbids teams to have flexing parts, but only from halfway through the season onwards. Why is that the case, and what impact will this have? We're discussing it all in this week's GPFans Special. Flexing wings are not new in Formula 1. Red Bull and Mercedes have dabbled in it in the past, but in 2024, complaints came in that teams had taken it too far. Especially on McLaren's MCL38, the front wing visibly changed its shape in corners compared to the straights. The rear wing also flexed on the straights, and there was the famous Mini DRS, which was very innovative but ultimately outlawed by the FIA as the rear wing effectively imitated DRS on any straight. Flexing wings help teams to optimize the efficiency of the car's aerodynamics. Around corners, the wings are at an upright angle to generate maximum downforce, but on the straights, they bend backwards to reduce drag and increase top speed. The advantage that creates is, however, difficult to detect and therefore to regulate. Initially, the FIA opted to let things be, but after complaints from mainly Red Bull and Ferrari, an investigation was started after all. From the Belgian Grand Prix onwards, cameras were installed to better survey the front wings. The intention of these cameras wasn't to catch the wings flexing and band them, but rather to gain knowledge on how they worked. Well, Ferrari were not happy with this decision. They had no flexing parts and were hoping the FIA would come to their aid. Ferrari eventually started producing flexing parts of their own, as a ban from the FIA never came. Or did it? At the end of January, the FIA announced it would regulate flexing wings after all. The FIA said in Technical Directive 18 that it will test cars differently for flexing parts from now on, and flexing front wings should be more easily detected. Motorsport.com reported that where front wings were previously allowed to flex 15mm, it's gone down to 10mm, but only from the Spanish Grand Prix onwards. The FIA argue this gives teams plenty of time to adapt while still being able to use the parts they'd already developed, but this decision did not make teams happy. Quote, "It's positive that the FIA has addressed the issue, even if it's undeniable that there has been a change of heart. More than anything, I don't understand why there should be a change at the 9th race, because this essentially means that we will have 2 championships, up until the 9th race and after the 9th race. And this will only increase costs considerably." This is what Christian Horner told Auto Racer about the technical directive. Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur accepted the new directive, but only questioned the timing of it. So, Red Bull were not happy with the sudden change of heart at the FIA, but Motorsport.com think Horner's quotes are partially an act. That's because the stricter rules on flexing were initially going to take effect at the first race of the season, but teams actually lobbied for this to be postponed as they were already developing flexing front wings of their own. The initial agreement was to postpone the technical directive to Imola, but eventually that became Barcelona. Red Bull would have known about this, so it wouldn't have been a surprise. Motorsport also spoke to a well-placed source within the paddock, and that source thinks McLaren and Mercedes will be disadvantaged most by the new measure, but Alpine and Aston Martin too need to make significant changes. The FIA argue the change was needed to make the regulations more fair, but the timing of the directive has become a point of discussion. What do you think of all of this? Should something like this take effect midway through the season? Leave a comment down below and let us know, but either way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the very next one. Bye-bye.